MyMac Podcast 800. Matters not, it doesn't.
And welcome everyone to the MyMac.com podcast. Gaz, can you believe that the MyMac podcast has been around for 800 plus shows, especially if you count some of the mini shows and the one-offs? So, you know, it's really been more than that. But on this particular occasion, we're just going to deal with the 800 official MyMac podcasts. However,
What I can't believe, Guy, is the fact that, you know, we've probably been doing 2/3 of them, or even 3/4 of them.
Yeah, more than that, because Tim left like show 270, and then you and I started 285.
Yeah, so that's what I can't believe. We've reached 800 from there.
Yeah, but
anyway,
we don't really. And part of the reason why we chose the title for this show that we did is, you know, we did the big whoop-de-doo with show 785, which was the 500th podcast that you and I had done together. So hitting 800 like 15 shows later, it's like, yeah. So our official position is, let us know when we hit 1,000.
Yeah. Hang on a minute. So are you asking the listeners to let us know when we've announced that we've just done show 1,000?
Right, because we won't know otherwise.
Okay. All right, fine.
Right.
Yeah. So when I go, MyMac Podcast 1,000, let us know when we've hit 1,000.
Exactly. It'll be a total surprise. A complete and total surprise.
Whoa, where did that come from?
Wow, holy crap, 1,000 shows. And on a completely unrelated note, but it needs to be said because I have it in the show notes. We just passed the 84th anniversary of the Hindenburg disaster, Gaz. Did you know that?
Actually, I did, but only just before the show.
Right.
Because you found out after asking me the question when it went down and then answered your own question before I found it. So, okay, big you can Google quicker than I can.
I just chose less words.
Yeah, you probably went Hindenburg crash, and I was writing when did
the Hindenburg LZ-129 from Germany, created by the Hindenburg Corporation? It's like, no, Hindenburg, boom. That's all you need.
Yeah. So do you want to tell the listeners why we were looking at that, or do you just want to leave it there and see people?
Have them sit there and go, what the living does that even mean?
Because actually it doesn't matter anyway. That's what they normally do for the show.
Right.
So let's go on.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay. Well, why don't you go ahead? What have you been up to this week?
Well, back at work this week for a fullish week, not bullish week. I don't know why, spell checker. I've got a dad joke about a spell checker, actually. Yeah.
You got to save that for our Carl, Gaz, and Guy messages.
Yeah, right. So we only did Monday to Thursday because Friday was the 75th anniversary of the VE, Victory in Europe Day, and a public holiday here, as in many other European countries.
Is it a holiday in Germany?
I was hoping. I believe it might have been in some areas, but I'm not sure because somebody said that they didn't. No.
See, these are the things that go through my head.
But I don't.
Did I throw you off? I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was hoping you. Right. Anyway, we had a socially distanced tea party in the village. My daughter played the last post to kick it off. Last week, I had a big sort out actually on my desk. And on Monday, I was on Bart's Apple Catch-Up, Let's Talk Apple podcast.
Great podcast,
However,
by the way.
I didn't get to say a lot because, Guy, if the listeners are thinking, Gaz sounds a bit different this week,
that's the reason.
It's because my Rode podcaster, after 11 years, and I did buy it secondhand, so I don't know how many years it had been used before then, died. Sad
Bum,
face.
bum, ba, bum, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum.
That would have sounded so much better on my road.
Yeah.
So my Mac is lonely without the trusty road.
And
However,
yeah.
I've also had another issue on my Mac. I'm just going to keep saying my Mac now. Whenever I start up Pages recently, I get a pop-up telling me to delete a file called rcwebcolorpicker.colorpicker. However, the submenu option that comes up with it to delete it, cannot delete it and asks me to do it manually. When I do a search for rcwebcolorpicker.colorpicker, which I actually thought was a Rapid Weaver add-on, but I don't think it is.
that would kind of make sense.
But it's not. I think there's actually an application out there, but I can't find the application or any files pertaining to that particular named article on my Mac. So you know what that means, don't you, Guy?
It's a mystery. Oh,
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. I stepped on your joke.
You did.
I did. I'm sorry. It was after I said that. I was like, oh, he's going to play It's a Mystery from Through Farrago, and I just stepped right on it.
Did.
You know what? And that's not a mystery.
Anyway, so that is something which is a bit odd. So what do you think? Where do you think that's coming from? How do you think the hell I can find this?
Do you have access to your library?
It's in the other room, but yeah.
Oh, sorry. Flemmy. The with recent versions, it's over there. Okay. Yeah.
No, it's not over there. It's in the other room. But you want me to go and?
No, not at the moment. You can check it after.
Okay.
But there's a folder on your Mac and my Mac called Library, and in OS's past,
it's a hidden.
Yeah, now it's hidden. It's hidden now.
Yeah. So I've got to open up and get access to that library. You think it might be in there?
I bet it could be in application support in that folder.
All right. Well, I'll do a bit of work afterwards and report back next week as to how I get on with that. Because
if it's a hidden file, your not preview. What is that called?
Finder?
No. Spotlight.
Spotlight.
Yeah. Right. I don't know if Spotlight can find it if it's not physically seen in the Finder. So.
Right. That's an interesting question. Can Spotlight see stuff which isn't visibly available in the Finder? That's a really good question.
Yeah, we should ask somebody that's like smarter than we are.
Well, or do some research on it.
Right. Research.
So here's the research. Listeners, if you know the answer to that question, you'll be able to contact us in many ways that we'll let you know in the third section.
Eventually. Yep.
Eventually. And also, I might have to be administrator, because you know that I don't run as administrator on.
Yeah, but you have an administrator account.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I want to do anything, I just have to put the administrator password and username and password in. But I run as my account as non-administrative in case it gets hacked.
Well, I do the same, and my password is password1234. No one will ever guess it.
They won't, because you've done a secret thing and you put it in backwards, don't you?
Oh, you tricky guy. Speaking of trickiness.
Yes, go on, tell me.
I was asked recently by an old friend of mine who's moving to a Mac, and he wanted to know what to get.
Where is that?
My old friend?
No, where is that? Where's Mac that he's moving to? Is it a place in the US?
Yes, it's in this case, it's in Georgia.
Right.
There is actually a Macintosh County in Georgia.
Is there really?
Yeah. Do you know how I know that? Because I got a flippin' speeding ticket from Macintosh County Sheriff's Department.
Brilliant.
As I was going through Georgia on I-95, an interstate highway, and the county sheriffs had set up like 6 cars to catch speeders. It was a speed trap. cost me $750.
Wow.
Yeah. And
how fast were you going over the speed limit?
Well,
10%,
it was 55 miles an hour going through that area,
right,
and I was going 72. So I was speeding. I'm not saying
that's
that I wasn't speeding.
So the fine in the UK, if you're caught speeding, if it's within that sort of area, if you get faster and faster, the fine will go up. You can actually end up in prison. But if it's if you're found speeding within that sort of remit, then it's generally a £60 fine, but you get points on your license.
Yeah.
But if you haven't been caught recently, you do get the option from some police forces to go on a speed awareness course.
And it's usually online.
You still have to pay the fine,
right?
But you don't then get the points on your license if you go on that speed awareness course. Anyway, you $750. That's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not going to go over it here on the podcast because it's quite a story. Okay. But ask me about it some other time.
I will do. Okay.
Or maybe I'll do it on Guy's Daily Drive.
So what's the question?
So the question was, he wants to move to a Mac, and what should he go to? And he already has he's a other computer user, Windows, of course. So he's got a monitor, he's got a keyboard, he's got a mouse. And the first thing that came to mind for me was a Mac Mini, because he's not a gamer, and he just needed it for online and general office use, office-like programs.
Yeah.
So I started looking online, and his budget was about $1,000. So I suggested there was a 2014 Mac Mini or a 2018 Mac Mini. And the big difference between them, one is a dual core, one's a quad core. One is rotational drive. The other one is a digital drive, an SSD. And it just depends on the types of programs that he used, how much space that he requires to run the computer, and whether or not he wanted to get the various dongles that would be required to connect up, like his monitor from USB-C or what have you. Yeah. So I gave him both of those options, and I'll probably find out in the next couple of weeks whether which one he chose.
Cool. Well, I'll have to see how he gets on. That could be good to have him on the show actually, and see what he's thinking about the move.
Okay. Well, I've got to warn you. I have to warn you.
Right.
This is a guy that I went to going all the way back to elementary school. Years and years and years in South Florida, in the South Florida educational system. And you can see what it did to me.
Yeah, Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perhaps we won't get him on.
Maybe some other time. Some other time.
Maybe another time.
All right. I guess that's it. That's all we got for this week, because we're moving your snippets down into the second section. There's just honestly there was a new MacBook, 13-inch MacBook Pro that was released, but neither one of us have it, so meh.
Meh.
I couldn't think of anything that was like center section
worthy.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
So yeah, let's go for it. We'll do Gaz's snippets in the next section then.
Yeah, and we'll have a good time with them there.
Let's make it a concise show this week.
Sure. Let's go with that, because we hardly ever not do a concise show.
Correct.
Ever. Well, except for all those.
I'm just trying to work that one out.
Yeah.
We hardly ever. No. Okay, fine.
Yeah. It's as soon as I said it, my brain was kind of like, what? Huh?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Well,
all right.
My brain hurts when you talk generally.
Yeah. Well, with that in mind, everyone, please stand by. And Gaz and I, we will be right back. And welcome everyone to the second part, point two of the MyMac.com. We're laughing because it's funny. Of the MyMac.com podcast with Gaz and Guy, and this is going to be filled with all kinds of fun information. Gaz is doing the Batusi. Oh, you okay? Oh, yeah. You just hit your Plantronics microphone.
Yeah, there. I did, but I was pretending to poke myself in the eye. But only people who are watching this live will. Well, they're not live, but
no, we're not live.
Let's move on. Anyway,
okay,
Guy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna jump into Gaz's snippets. It's a crazy, crazy week.
It is.
It is. Right. Okay. So now, Apple iMessage patent describes the ability to edit already sent text.
I don't know if I like that.
Well, I was thinking about it. My initial response was, "What? Wait up, boy!"
Is that really what was going through your head?
Yes, absolutely. It's
okay.
What normally goes through my head. But as long as you get notification of the updated text, then I kind of get it. But really, I think this is just patent trolling in terms of Apple making sure that they cover their backsides every which way.
So
anyway, I'm moving on
because
we got a lot to get through. There's a random message notification that will crash your iPhone before you even read it, apparently. It's been a little while since we've had a weird iPhone texting bug. So it's about time for another one, apparently.
Yeah, because everybody loves those.
So they've uncovered a strange character emoji string that will crash iPhones during the latest version of the iOS. It only appears to affect 13.4.1, and I'm sure it involves a string of Sindhu language characters. So don't worry about it too much, folks, and I'm sure it'll get fixed soon. Tim Cook has delivered a virtual commencement address to the Ohio.
What's high in the middle and round on both ends?
Ohio. To Ohio State graduates. He referenced apparently the Spanish flu in it. I mean, talk about go backwards. Talk about today, Tim. Talk about today. Apple TV at 6 months. Okay, this report said there are no breakthroughs, but plenty of promise.
And I think that means nothing.
Well, it does. No, the plenty of breakthroughs in some of the shows. So all of the shows coming through, or very many of them, but but plenty of promise and no real break. Let me start that again. So the shows that they had were all good, but there was nothing outstanding, and there's promise there. But yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. When was the last time you watched anything on Apple TV, Guy?
I still have not gotten through all of the morning show, and I keep saying I'm going to do that.
Well, you should do. You should do. That's about the only one that I've got really that I went through. But since I've watched that, I've got this year's subscription because of the iPhone. But the iPhone purchased last year, but I've not watched it for. I was going to say weeks. It's probably months, if I'm honest. So that's not good.
Well,
anyway,
and the same thing with For All Mankind. I want to get through that too.
Well, you should do it. Apple Watch ECG helps detect a case of coronary ischemia. Ischemia, I would say that.
That's the fourth. That's the fourth stooge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mo, Larry, Curly, and Ischemia.
What's really quite key here was apparently it was missed by the hospital ECG. So the ECG function on the Apple Watch isn't meant to be as informative or as sensitive as multi-lead ECGs you might get in a doctor's office or a hospital, which use several points of contact. However, a new article in the European Heart Journal tells the story of an 80-year-old woman whose Apple Watch detected evidence of her heart condition that was missed by a hospital ECG. I bet Apple are loving that story. Apparently, France still rejects Apple's innovative and efficient contact tracing API. More on that later. I'll come back to that later. As we did briefly mention in the last section, Apple unveils a new 13-inch MacBook Pro with Magic Keyboard. Woo, woo, woo.
Jazz hands.
Yeah. Guy's doing jazz hands trying to put me off, but I'm ignoring him. This one is a bit, what? Band-Aid style wearable gadget syncs with iPad to diagnose coronavirus. Apparently a device which sticks to your throat, guy, like
on the inside of your throat.
No, on the outside.
Oh, okay.
Like a Band-Aid is intended to help diagnose coronavirus infections by detecting early signs of coughing and breathing difficulties. Yes, it could also mean that you've got something else. Come on, folks. Apple and Google reveal how COVID-19 exposure notification apps will function. Apple are now selling DJIs. Mavic DJIs, that is. The new Mavic Air Drone 2 in online stores.
Well,
Not sure that's big news, but it seems to have got people's excitement.
Well, you couldn't sell it inside the stores because the stores are all closed. There they are, the Mavic Air Drone 2s.
But is it really such a big story that they've moved it to the online store, really?
This is why I was having trouble finding something for the center section of the show. Yeah, it's like, because we have stuff like this.
Yeah, happening. Okay. Apple's T2 security chip has created a nightmare for MacBook refurbishers. And that's because of the proprietary locking system Apple rolled out with its 2018 MacBook Pros. Apparently, it's really hurting independent repair stores, refurbishers, and electronic recyclers. We can get into that at another stage, I think, but let's leave it there. That's starting to create a bit of headlines. Apparently, most Australian stores will reopen this week. Now, I kind of left this in just as a bit of jokey because later on I'd refer back to it again. Apple Google ban use of location tracking in the contact tracing apps. Go Apple and Google.
Yep.
Yay. France and UK to test contact tracing apps without Apple and Google technology. Tut.
Yeah, that should work out so well.
Apparently, France issues a misleading statement that Apple has refused to help with the contact tracing. A day after the French government said that it would not adopt the Google Apple coronavirus contact tracing API, despite it being innovative and efficient. The same minister has issued a misleading statement claiming that Apple refuses to help France with its Stop COVID app.
Well, I'm sorry. Did you just tell me that a politician said something that was misleading?
I'll move on. Apple has made 2020 the year of value so far, according to reports. It's not as if Apple is actually making inexpensive devices this year, but 2020 seeing a clear trend towards greater value across iPhones, iPads, and Macs. And I tend to agree with that. I left that in because I kind of agree with it.
I do too.
Apple and the DOJ fight. Let me rephrase that. Apple and the DOJ fight over photos that have national security concerns. Now, this is on the back of Apple's lawsuit against virtualization company Corellium. It took a surprising turn as the Department of Justice claims that photos Apple wants to introduce into evidence may have national security concerns, Guy.
What?
I'm just doing snippets, all right? But I found that really interesting. Apparently, Apple have been granted a US patent for an Apple glove.
Right, them and Michael Jackson. Got it.
Apple to host virtual worldwide developers conferencing beginning June 22nd. Thought you might have something to say about that?
I sort of do. I've been trying to look online to see what the schedule of events is going to be. And who is going to have access to it? Is it going to be just paid developers or is it going to be open to everybody? I don't think they've quite said yet. I think because there's no way they're going to do it for free. I mean, it is Apple. So
well, and so they may what you're trying to understand is if you're a developer, which you have to pay an application, don't you, to be a developer and get access to certain stuff. If you're one of those, you can probably get access to it, and if not, then give us your money and you can either jog on or give us your money. And apparently, the Spotify CEO expects Apple to open up to third-party apps, but there are still many steps to go. Now, is he saying that purely in an optimistic way? Do you think? If I say it enough, they'll have to do it. And if they don't do it, they'll be seen as the bad boys. I'm saying no more on that story. Apple TV app expands to include the iconic AFI Movie Club picks. Did I include this last week? Or did I
No, I don't think
someone
so.
else? Yeah. So AFI, I'm referring to you on that.
American Film Institute, I think that is.
Okay, cool. Apple are facing a second lawsuit, apparently, over iPhone XR's inferior 2x2 MIMO antennas. A new class action suit claims that Apple purposely, Guy, misled buyers. Can you believe it? By using a 2x2 MIMO antenna array in the iPhone XR while they knew that it was inferior and defective compared to the 4x4 MIMO setup in the iPhone XS and iPhone XS Max. That's going to be an interesting one to watch.
Yeah, lawyers. That's all I got to say.
Okay, so this one is not particularly, it kind of is related, but the British contact tracing app needs extra safeguards, says former spy chief.
What?
Who the funk it?
I don't know.
The next article I put in, the UK are racing to improve the contact tracing privacy without Apple and Google. Shocker.
Wait, hold on. I thought that was France.
No, and the UK.
Oh,
UK
and the UK.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Apple holds top tech company honors in a brand intimacy study.
Ooh.
I'm going nowhere with that one, right? I'm leaving that exactly where it is.
I don't have my phone handy. I was going like, intimacy.
Yeah. Apple Watch and iPhone can automatically send vital medical ID info to first responders in iOS 13.5.
Easy so for that's you to
obviously.
Say.
Yeah, well, I wish it was. So we'll have to wait and see how that develops. Apple, you naughty people, have poached the BBC documentary chief for unscripted Apple TV Plus content.
So they stole someone to do unscripted content.
So that's what this is going to sound like. That unscripted content is going to sound like this.
Or they'll come up and they'll say,
that's unscripted.
Yeah, totally unscripted.
Apple on track for massive App Store growth in Q2, says analyst.
Was that Wedbush?
No, you didn't actually. I didn't have time to go looking for Wedbush stuff.
No Wedbush. Okay.
Now
it was enough. It was enough that we just said it. Wedbush.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Now I brought this in because of the other stories that I mentioned. The NHS contact tracing team reportedly mulls. They're thinking about a switch to the Apple Google API. Talk about waste money. Apple sued over 2016 MacBook Pro stage lighting issue. Apple has been hit with a class action lawsuit claiming that the company concealed the so-called stage lighting issue experienced by some 2016 MacBook Pro owners. That will develop. We'll come back to it. Apple extends its dominant smartwatch market lead in Q1. Absolutely. Apple's first mini LED product might not launch until 2021. Apple's first product to integrate a mini LED display technology might see a later than expected launch. Hang on a minute.
So
were we expecting this guy?
Apparently somebody was. This is absolutely the very first time that I've seen anything like this.
Precisely.
I just don't get it. It's almost like these analysts have to try to find something.
Well, do you know who said that?
Tell me.
Chico.
Oh, go on, I thought it might have been Gene Munster.
No.
No? Okay.
Apple
I was just looking as I was talking, it was like, where the hell is that thing?
And I mentioned that they may reopen this week. They have reopened. The stores in Australia apparently reopen. Hey, good. We're getting back to some sort of normal. That's the new normal, by the way.
Yeah.
Apple awards a $10 million to COVID-19 testing kit maker from Advanced Manufacturing Fund. Apple has announced that it's awarding $10 million from its Advanced Manufacturing Fund to Copan Diagnostics, a market leader in sample collection kits that play a critical role in COVID-19 testing across the United States. Good for them. Well done. Apple's Jeff Williams is bullish about post-coronavirus economy recovery in the US. Good. So, yeah. Scoob is coming to iTunes on May 15th, bypassing theaters and rental windows entirely.
And it would have been such a huge hit.
I believe you are quite happy about that.
I am. I'm looking forward to seeing it. And there's all kinds of weird casting things with this particular animated movie, but I'm still looking forward to it. Both my wife and I are big Scooby-Doo fans.
Good. Apple expects the iPad and Mac sales to grow in June Q3 despite COVID-19. Well, that's good. We'll wait and see. Apple Wi-Fi hotspot patent infringement saga ends with a whimper. After several years of back and forth litigation, Apple has withdrawn what was likely its final appeal in a Wi-Fi hotspot patent infringement case due to a Supreme Court decision. Don't quite know what that means. They probably paid the previous fine. End of. Apple launches a new online storefront for buying from home. I've not looked at this. And
I hadn't even heard about it.
But apparently Apple has now launched a new shopfront online, which is expressly for making it easier to buy and get technical help from home. So I think that's probably one of the options that you'll find when you're going through the websites. Was there a URL for it? No, I think this is, it's in testing. Yeah, no, I think it's something that you'll go. It's for technical help from home. So I think when you go down that route, you probably get a new process going on, new forms, a new UI. Let's put it that way. Apparently, Apple stores in Germany to begin reopening May 11th with enhanced health and safety measures. Now, apparently, a year after media doubting Apple services, it actually saves a rather difficult year, which I think we all know. That's ridiculous. Apple services have been like their biggest growth market. Yeah. But it's analysts, Guy. Last March, analysts and tech bloggers dumped out arrogant contempt over Apple's latest product introduction. This year, those new offerings help save Apple's Q2 earnings and are projected to bolster its June quarter performance despite the pandemic. Yeah, tell us something we don't know, analysts. Yeah. Apple faces a class action lawsuit over FlexGate issue with the MacBook Pro displays, a nationwide class action lawsuit filed against Apple in Northern California. Yeah, I actually know something about this. Okay, it accuses the company of knowingly concealing a defect with a display-related flex cable on the recent 13 and 15-inch MacBook Pro models. Tell us. Yeah, it was a cable that goes from the motherboard to the display. It was a 3-inch cable, I think, or maybe three something cable, and depending on how many times you open and closed your MacBook Pro, this cable would become unattached or break or whatever. And then to repair it, if you were out of warranty, and it would almost all of these would happen out of warranty, it would cost however much that Apple charged to replace this cable. And so they're basing this entire thing on the fact that the replacement cable and the cable that they used in the next models, which were very similar, was 3.2 instead of 3. 3.2. So I think this is more along the lines of someone engineered this cable. The cable broke after extended use. Apple repaired them and charged money to have them repaired. Saw there was a problem, changed it to 3.2 instead of 3. And it's kind of like, okay, do we really need a class action lawsuit over this? Well, if people have paid money to get it repaired and they knew that they'd got a defunct product.
That's the thing. Did Apple know? Or was it just this happened and in the next model we have something different?
Stop there. And this is where we're a little bit different over here.
Okay.
The product has got to be fit for purpose. In the UK, that's 6 years, Guy. So a device like a MacBook, it'd have to be fit for purpose for 6 years after its sale.
Okay.
So, yeah, that means they are still responsible for it.
All right.
Now, you don't kind of have that backlash, so that's probably why
it's warranty or out of warranty.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Apple renews effort to induce authors to publish with Apple Books. 8 years after it released tools to make what were then called iBooks, Apple has launched Apple Books for authors, a new effort to get writers publishing on its platform.
Make it freaking easier. It's a pain in the ass.
There you go. From an experienced author, folks. There you go. From the horse's mouth. Nay. Apple will reopen stores in the US, in 4 US states next week. That could be this week when you're listening to this.
Yes.
But Apple retail stores may look very different in the US when they reopen, apparently. We'll wait and see.
Well,
Let us know, folks.
And here's the interesting part. In shows past, especially usually it was when we were talking about Microsoft stores in the same malls. Microsoft stores are so ready for social distancing.
Absolutely.
Because nobody goes in them. Whereas Apple stores,
well.
Oh, they're all closed. But Apple stores, because of how popular they are, I'm curious to see what they do in order to meet those requirements.
Guy, it's so easy. It's so easy. They just fill the cupboards and the shelves with Microsoft products.
I was going to say with Windows products.
Yeah. Apple's iPhone 11 captures 68% of India's ultra-premium smartphone market. I should think they're pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
Apple TV Plus to debut Dads. That's a documentary film on June 19th ahead of Father's Day.
That's a joke.
Okay, fine.
Dad jokes.
Okay, dad jokes.
Yeah, sorry.
Very good. No, went over my head.
Not really.
And apparently, last snippet for today, all 4 Apple stores in Switzerland to reopen on May the 12th. And folks, that's the end of Gaz's Snippets.
See, I was telling you this last week. You could do a complete podcast with just Gaz's Snippets. And it would be so great. Even, you know who else would like it? Gene Munster would definitely like. I actually have a longer version of it. Hold
on. I bet you do, yeah. But we've got to talk over it.
There.
We've got to talk over it for licensing issues. Whatever. Views.
Get us out of here, Gaz.
Okay, everybody, stand by to stand by, and we'll be right back.
Yeah. And welcome everyone to the third section, point 3 of the MyMac.com podcast. And Gaz, I would like to say, why do you have yourself pre-recorded making Muttley noises?
Why not?
Yeah, I'll nod my head to that.
Hit it. Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
It's time for
Gaz's tip. Okay, so the iPhone SE notifications don't work, apparently, Guy, with haptic touch. Right? Sad face for you. So this particular tip is for you. Ready? You simply swipe the notification in question to the left and tap View. The notification will expand to show its full content and any quick actions you can take.
Okay, that's on the Mac.
No, this is an iOS thing. This is an iOS thing. So I'll send you the link to that.
Okay, because I'm very confused.
Right, well, I'll send you the link for that, and we'll put it in the show notes for anybody else that's got an SE. But apparently the haptic touch notifications don't work on the SE,
Right.
but there is a workaround. So I'll send you the link to that clue. Now, I don't have an SE, so I can't really work out how this would work. But there you go. I'm going to send that through to you.
Yeah, well, the part that has me confused is that the iPhone doesn't have a Finder.
What? Did I say Finder?
Yeah, it says in column view in Finder.
No. Okay, whoa. Stop. Okay. So that first tip that I haven't printed in the notes.
Okay.
Your forward reading, you naughty boy.
I was going ahead of everything.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Now, that previous hint that I've just given for Guy in particular, but any other SE user, here is a tip for Finder. In column view in Finder, have you ever right-clicked on the column separator, Guy? Well, if you do, you might see the following options in a pop-up submenu. Right-size this column, right-size all columns individually, or right-size all columns equally. Go on, give it a try. And
it works.
I'm talking to the people, not just to you, Guy.
I would nod my head to that. So are you.
That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips.
Is that the end of the tip?
Will you let me finish?
Gaz's tips. And then my new favorite.
Okay. So I've just pasted the link into that tip for you.
Okay, I will put that hopefully into the show notes.
Cool, good.
All right. I have a pick, Gaz.
Do you?
I do, and not surprisingly, it's with Apple Arcade. It's a game. It's called No Way Home by SMG Studio. It's a side space scroller where you are the lone survivor of a terrible, terrible space accident, and you have to find your way home. Only problem? It's been 9 million years. You have no idea in space where you are, and no one that you run into has ever heard of the Earth. Other than that, everything is fabulous. This is actually a really, really fun game. So there'll be a link in the show notes, assuming that you have Apple Arcade, to go and grab this fun game. I haven't tried it on anything other than the Mac. What about you?
Right. So you are listening to me coming through my headset, which is a Plantronics 320M, which is pretty good for meetings and for normal stuff. And I think, I have put a bit of sound adjustment through Audio Hijack on it.
Honestly, if I can interrupt for just a second.
You can.
Because
you do
headsets go. I know. Sorry. As headsets go, that is actually a really good one.
Yeah. So we use these for work. I've actually stolen it from work. So we use them for work for our meetings and stuff, and it is good. However, it's not the same as my Rode Podcaster, and the old one has died. But I'm gonna say it's my pick. It's not an app pick, but it's my pick, and I've bought another one, Guy. It's not here yet, but I've got it on order, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it will be with us for next week. It was the cheapest one that I could find. It is brand new. That could mean that they don't have it in stock. And that could mean that I get a bit of a kickback. But it was just before the weekend, so I'm hoping that I'll get a notification next week that it's en route. So fingers crossed and all that. Plus, I've already got the cradle for the old Rode Podcast.
So well, they're going to include, if it's brand new, they should include the cradle as well.
No. The cradle doesn't come with it. The cradle is the PSM-1.
Right. Because you have
that separately.
You have a it's not just a cradle. It's also called a I can't think of the name of it.
It's a wibble wobble cradle.
Yeah,
wibble wobble. Shake it on a stick,
and then it doesn't fall down. So. Yeah, I have one of these, and I tried to send it, but we found out that it was going to cost almost as much to buy a new one as it was going to cost for me to send you my used one. And it was okay, all right.
Never mind.
If you would like to do I almost said I need to change that. It's not iTunes anymore. A podcast review, and if you do, let us know about it.
iTunes no longer exists.
It's not there anymore. We would love to find out about it, and we will talk about it on the show, and I will send you a Woo T, which we haven't talked about in a while. That's big W, big O, big T, little I, little E. That spells Woo T. However, this being the 800th show, now you remember we said, we're not looking for feedback. We're not looking for, anything that's all that big of a deal. However, of course, our fantastic 2 people that know how to use our Skype telephone number.
I think there are 3, actually.
3? Okay. Well, of the 3 of them, so we have a 30% return. Greg from North Carolina did send us something. And I'm going to play that right now.
Hey, Guy. Hey, Gaz. Congratulations on the 800th episode. Did you know that 800 is a Harshard number?
Harshard.
Because it is the sum of 4 consecutive prime numbers, 193, 197, 199, and 211. Have fun with the show, guys.
Thank you, Greg. I was not aware that there was something called a Harshard number prior to your telephone call. You see, the MyMac podcast is not only entertaining, it's educational.
Informative.
That's right. You won't learn much from us.
No,
but the people that call in, yeah, they're great.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you so very much, Greg. Very, very quickly, if you would like to help support the things that I do outside of the MyMac podcast, you can become a Patreon, patreon.com/MacParrot, Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/MacParrot, PayPal, paypal.me/MacParrot. Now,
I just did one.
Well, because I was trying to go really, really fast.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, there is something right now over in Patreon that you can only listen to if you are a Patreon, and it is funny. Gaz, if people wanted to get a hold of you, I'm sure there must be some way that they can do that.
There is, Guy.
Tell me.
All you have to do is send an email through your email client of choice. I had to close my eyes and think about that. To Gaz, G-A-Z.
Cars.
At MyMac.com, or on the Twitters, twitter.com/Gazmaz, G-A-Z.
Cars.
Z. You can also send a tweet to both Guy and myself on the Twitters, twitter.com/Guy and Gaz, G-U-Y. A-N-D. G-A-Z.
Yes.
You can also send an email to feedback at mymac.com. That's F-W-D-B-A-C-K. Well,
Guy was paid his 75 grand.
I still can't believe you got
been
that much. I really can't believe you got that
I'd like to go with Guy.
Yeah, I'd like to go with a Guy.
Do we know it was a guy?
No.
Guy says.
Guy says.
His name was Guy. No foolin'.
He's the guy.
Guy.
Guy?
You remember Guy?
If you want
an email from Guy.
How would they do it? Because
Guy's the one.
It gets more and more See, you must have like a single Farrago page with nothing but guy sayings in it.
Ready?
No foolin'.
If you'd like to send me an email, you would send that to Guy, not big shock, at mymac.com. Yeah.
What?
Guy.
Yeah.
At mymac.com. There we go.
Yeah.
And I am on the Twitters, guys. I am. I have 2, actually not 1, but 2 Twitter accounts. How crazy is that?
That is crazy. Now, are they?
His name was Guy.
On those accounts?
No. One is Mac Parrot, and the other one is Vert Shark.
There you go.
I'm doing a shark.
Does Shark applaud?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, baby shark, do, 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 do. God, that song is so annoying. Hello?
All my rings have just completed. How did that happen? I've just been sitting down.
Well, doing a podcast with me is like running a marathon.
Yeah, it does say my heart rate's up.
Big surprise.
Anyway,
you could also send us a telephone call like Greg did from North Carolina. And our number is 1 or +1 outside of the United States, area code 703-436-9501. That number again is 1 or +1 outside. He's almost out of beer. Oh, no. Outside of the United States, area code 703-436-9501. Or just take that 1 and that +1 and dump it in the bin and go to the Skype application and just dial 703-436-9501. That's all you got to do. Whew. And we are running out of time, so I'm going to say thank you to everyone who downloads and listens.
Yeah.
I'm pointing my finger authoritatively.
Very
I don't think that's a word, but it is now. Downloads and listens to the MyMac.com podcast. It is greatly, greatly appreciated by both of us. And Gaz, I think that we are good enough.
Really?
Yes. With great authoritarianism.
Good.
Yeah, that's another good word. And excellent. I think that based on my vocabulary that I am smart enough.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that doggone it, woof to the woof woof. That's like my rap name. Woof to the woof woof. People, woof to the woof woof. Imagine making a rap song by sampling the MyMac.com podcast. How scary would that be?
It's a nightmare.
It would be. And other than that, people like us.
Chunua ichochi cha aiki I ga ewaku maka izu niki. Upula na egabu. Mugbu dika. Ubaro ugbuguba. Ma aligi. Anya o na adawaka. Kaha.
Kaha.
Why does he do this to me? End.
So you can all go home and there's nothing to worry about. Get out of here now. Go on home and go home.